Hi, my name is Jeff Tuttle. I'm the Chief Science Officer, formulator of the Live products, and one of the founders of Live International. I'm really happy to be with you this afternoon to talk about one of my favorite products. I always say that, but our Daily Smart. And we're going to dive in a little deep. These are called our deep dive presentations, and we're going to dive kind of deep into nootropics and some of the benefits of nootropics, what they are, how they work, and how Live Smart was put together. So let's jump right in right now. All right, our title of our discussion today is Fuel Brains, Boost Focus, Stay Smart Every Day. For me, it's all about what you do on a daily basis to stay healthy, and that begins with a good daily multivitamin and live smart. Let me give you a little history about uh, the development of this product. My dad and my mom, they were very active. My dad was the mayor of our city. He was a general in the army. He was a superintendent of schools. He was just a really type A personality, very busy all the time. And what was great is he was very physically fit till he got into his 80s. And even in his 80s, he was still very physically fit, but his brain began to deteriorate. And so I thought, is this what's going to happen to me when I get that age? And I thought, what can I do right now? Well, I'm already getting pretty old. However, what can everybody do as they age to help protect their brain? And so I began to study, and my challenge really was to develop a multifaceted product that would help with brain support. And as I started doing the studies, I thought, not just worried about myself, that'd be a little selfish, but my dad, okay. I was wondering about my family, my extended family, the kids, the little kids, the teenagers. What can they do starting at a young age to help protect themselves and to help go throughout life and not end up suffering some of the debilitating diseases as they get older? And even some people even when they're younger. So I looked at some of the statistics. If you look at a dementia risk to double by 2050, we have an aging population right now. We know that. However, 514,000 new cases of dementia are typically diagnosed each year, and that's just dementia. So, what I didn't know about the brain, what I didn't know about how you can support the brain. So, what I started studying was something called nootropics. What I didn't know was that there are steps we can take to protect our brain, to maximize brain function, and reduce our risk of cognitive decline and Alzheimer's. So I was all in. As I started doing the research, I said, this is for me. That's one thing I don't want to suffer from is cognitive decline as I get older. So as I began to study, one topic kept popping up, which was nootropics. And what are nootropics? Here's the definition. It's a supplement or drug that enhances cognitive function such as memory, focus, creativity, motivation, that's a big one, and overall mental performance. So for me, pretty much the basics of enjoying life. All of those things are enhanced by nootropics. So, really, why are they important? What's our modern cognitive challenge? Something that really years ago they didn't suffer with. However, right now we have an information overload. We have high pressure demands. There's a lot of things we're doing, work, even students in school. They require maximum mental performance. And also, as I mentioned earlier, there is an aging population, so increasing focus on preserving your memory or preventive cognitive decline. So that's why I really wanted to focus in on nootropics. So let's look at some of the key benefits of nootropics and really the mechanism of action or how they function. First of all, they help improve memory and learning, okay, supporting neuroplasticity and synaptic strength. Very important in being able to learn and continue to learn, increase focus and attention, and basically focusing on neurotransmitters such as dopamine and acetylcholine. Those are very important chemicals in our brain that are naturally produced in our brain to help keep the brain functioning properly, improve mental energy and motivation, optimizing brain cell metabolism and ATP, which is energy production. It also supports mood and reduces stress. We all have a lot of stress in these days, and so being able to modulate the stress hormones also can help support a more calm state. And then also provide, this is one that was important to me, really provide neuroprotection by acting as antioxidants and reducing brain inflammation. So those are the things that as we go through utilizing these nootropics, that they can really help in our life. So what are nootropics? They represent a powerful frontier in biohacking and proactive brain health. And really, the importance lies in its potential to help us think more clearly, learn faster, and protect our most vital organ. So, I don't know about you, but that's pretty important to me. So, what was the result? The results of the research, I put together a product called Daily Smart. And we're going to go through some of the ingredients and how they function. First thing I found out is that not only these nootropics, there are vitamins, specific vitamins that play a key role in brain health. So I thought, well, rather than just do a straight nootropic formula, we really need a daily multivitamin. We need nutrients every single day, and vitamins, some of our body produces some, but some we need to get through our diet, and especially our minerals we need to get from our diet. So key vitamins and minerals play an important role in brain health. What do the studies show? Well, studies show that up to 90% of the US population don't get the RDA recommended daily allowance of vitamins on a daily basis. So, what does that mean? Well, we're not dying. However, our bodies are not functioning optimally when we don't have those recommended daily allowances of the various vitamins and minerals. It's kind of like building a house. Can you imagine? Well, only on Thursdays and Wednesdays are we going to have nails to build our house. The rest of the time, we have to build it without nails. Every single component is important and key, and we need to have those nutrients there all the time. So these are some of the vitamins that we have in the product. You can see typically 100% of the daily recommended daily allowance, but you'll notice that some of them, such as vitamin D, B1, B12, uh, have extra amounts. Why? Because they play a key role in brain health and brain function. They have other functions, however, they are really important for that brain function. So we're going to focus on some of them. Vitamin C, we know functions as an antioxidant, and we're going to focus on some of the other ones, and also magnesium, which is very important for the brain and for energy. So why extra vitamin D, B1, and B12? First of all, cognitive function. Vitamin D and B1 play an important role in cognitive function, mood regulation, and neuroprotection. I don't know about you, three very important things for me in my health. B12 works with the synthesis of neurotransmitters. Again, kind of important. And deficiency potentially results in impairment, memory loss, and neurological disorders. So having that vitamin is really important to me, especially just because I want to have my mental faculties at their optimum all the time. Also, it's interesting that low vitamin D levels were also associated with cardiovascular death. So there's a lot of crossover. You'll see that these vitamins, although we're focusing on the neurological and the brain benefits, they also have many, many other benefits in our body, the vitamins and the minerals both. So then we can look at vitamin D3. And vitamin D3, when COVID was around, it was recommended to take extra vitamin D. Well, vitamin D is our sunshine vitamin. We think, well, we're out in the sun, we get enough vitamin D. Well, what happens? Vitamin D forms on the skin. And typically, after being out in the sun, we'll go home and what do? Take a shower, wash all the vitamin D off our skin. So even though if we're out in the sun quite a bit, we may not be absorbing enough vitamin D. Vitamin D, how does it help? Helps with the immune system. They've had other studies that show about multiple sclerosis helping with that, helps the brain working well in later life. These are just various studies that have been done on vitamin D, maintaining a healthy body weight. It's also helped people with asthma, various other things besides helping with brain function. So vitamin D is very important, along with the other vitamins that we talked about, vitamin B12 for energy production, etc. The other key part of this formula is that there are scientific studies that confirm the importance of key herbal concentrates for brain health. And so I did a bunch of research and looked at what studies have been done, what scientific evidence we have, and put together the herbal part, the botanical part of this formula. And so we have concentrates of things like ashwagandha, curcumin, club moss, ginkgo, bacopa, resveratrol, and pterostilbene. Don't have time to go through all of these, but they have various functions. And each one of them works at a cellular level, and we focus on the cellular activation technology. In other words, they work at a cellular level. They are multifaceted and scientifically confirmed. Some of the things they do that are basic, powerful antioxidants. Well, you can eat fruit and get antioxidants, but these are continuous antioxidants that you'll get over time when you take a daily protector with the Daily Smart. Supports brain health, protects against cognitive decline. These are just some of the different studies that have been shown with our uh, herbal base that supports brain health. Anti-aging. It also helps activate sirtuins or SIRT1, which helps us maintain healthy weight, helps cellular repair, and actually helps in weight loss. Mood and mental well-being, anxiety, depression, neuroprotection, helps with metabolic health, liver protection, which again, that's not your brain. However, as I mentioned, there's a lot of crossover in the benefits that these vitamins and these herbal ingredients give to us. Weight management enhances fat metabolism, blood sugar regulation, really important. There's a lot of people suffering from insulin resistance. It can help balance your blood sugar and cardiovascular protection, as I mentioned. So that's kind of in a nutshell all of what the herbal blend does, the phyto blend in the product, but it all works at a cellular level. Now, curcumin, I'm just going to identify a couple of these. Curcumin, there are a lot of studies on curcumin. Curcumin by itself is a great beneficial herb. However, in combination is where we get the synergy and where we get the true benefits of the curcumin. It has neuroprotective effects. Why? It functions as an antioxidant, and oxidation or degeneration through oxidation is one of the things that is a major contributor to neuro or nerve degeneration. Cognitive and mental support, there are a lot of studies on that. Mental health and mood, various other studies. So curcumin has a lot of different studies. All these are just, you can pause it and read through some of the other studies. In the interest of time, I won't go through all of them. However, there are some great benefits from curcumin. And one of the reasons why we use a very highly concentrated, you can grind up turmeric roots. However, this is a highly concentrated form of curcumin. Same thing with ashwagandha. We use a very highly concentrated form of ashwagandha for its neuroprotective, anti-stress effects, anti-anxiety, anti-depression. So it helps protect the body, helps with cognitive enhancement, and helps improve memory. Also interesting that you can see in the yellow here, it may reduce amyloid beta plaque formation, which has been linked to Alzheimer's disease and oxidative stress in our neurons, or in other words, our nerve cells. Again, also other things with ashwagandha, mood and sleep support, various other studies that have been done. However, focusing today on the brain and on the importance of nootropics, just focusing mostly on that. We could spend a lot of time going through a lot of other studies. Again, pterostilbene is another plant extract. It is a potent antioxidant that helps protect neurons. Again, it also functions as an antioxidant and activates that SIRT1 gene, which is involved in cellular repair, energy production, and longevity pathways. So a lot of different benefits from that. You can see blood sugar regulation, heart health, anti-inflammatory properties. So it has a lot of different benefits. So that's just a couple of the herbs that are included in there and plant extracts that help focus. Now, one of the things that for me that's really important is the source of those raw materials. And I've purchased ashwagandha from just looking at it from the internet to see what other products have, and it's been like little ground up sticks of ashwagandha. Different herbs and different plant materials require different levels of concentration. So that concentration for me is really important, and making sure those active ingredients are there in the right quantities so that we get the maximum results. One of the other additional benefits of this, we can focus on the telomeres. And telomeres, basically, as our telomeres shorten, telomere shortening is a biological process basically associated with aging, and it leads to cellular aging, reduce reduces the regenerative capacity. Let me show you just a little bit more about that. So we have telomeres. Here's a drawing demonstrating that. And as our cells replicate, as our DNA replicates, these telomeres tend to get shorter and shorter. And once they get, every time they replicate, they may tend these caps on the end. You can see in the green, they tend to get shorter. Sooner or later, they get short enough that then the cell cannot reproduce, and basically the cell dies. Okay, so these protective caps have been linked to brain health and aging, and so the shorter telomeres are associated with cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases. So being able to protect those telomeres, those caps on the end of our cells, is another benefit that can help protect us and help keep us young. So, what ingredients in the Smart give us the DNA support? First of all, the turmeric or the curcumin, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin B complex. So, all of those are important for the telomere support. Also, the ingredients that are antioxidants also have several of these have anti-inflammatory properties. And Daily Smart helps reduce chronic inflammation, which obviously we know that inflammation's been linked to many, many diseases, heart disease, heart attack. Now, I'm not saying they're curing anything. What we're saying is we want to protect ourselves and have those nutrients, those beneficial antioxidants and other phytonutrients that will protect us from the ravages, basically, of inflammation. One thing I also found out is that early onset dementia is oftentimes linked to adolescent risk. So there are many factors that are modifiable in our diet. And so there are really excellent opportunities starting with our youth to help prevent uh, cognitive decline in the later years. Also, other studies show that kids can benefit from Daily Smart. And so one of the studies, or several studies that were done on one of the ingredients called bacopa, which I didn't talk about earlier, showed that in specific, when children were given bacopa supplements, they were able to reduce the time to learn a specific task from 10 days to 6 days, which is pretty amazing. They also showed that they improved their speed and accuracy on maze problems, help with IQ scores, etc. So there are various studies that show the importance of utilizing these nutrients even in our teenagers and our younger kids, 6 to 10 years old in this case. So imagine this. Imagine you're helping with homework instead of fighting distractions. Both of you feel sharper, calmer, more in control. Well, that's really the smart difference and why I put that together. So it's a multivitamin. However, it has those other nutrients. Why not, if you're taking a multivitamin, why not combine with these other things that can help provide additional support and additional mental focus? So for adults, Daily Smart helps cut through the fog, sharpen your focus, and helps you stay on and get that never-ending to-do list done. And for school kids, school-age kids and teenagers, it gives their growing minds the support they need to stay focused in the class and retain what they're learning and really handle busy school days. There's, I always say to my grandkids, there's a lot more to learn than there was when I was a kid. We just learned about rocks and just not much else. Now they have computers and all sorts of other things. There's so much more to learn. The basic knowledge and the speed at which kids learn is just amazing. So it's one supplement that fits right into the whole family routine because clear thinking and steady focus aren't just for kids, and the energy to keep up with them isn't just for moms and for dads. It's really for all of us. So I want to thank you for joining me today on this quick little summary, quick little deep dive onto Live Smart, and wish you all the best, and may you all live life well.